Okay, we are now live.
Anyway.
Good now that everyone's here. So, Jeff.
Hooray! Okay, so first off, for the sake of our new member, Michael, does
Hi.
someone want to remind us what happened last session?
I got fucking killed.
Twice.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, uh, we basically started off in a fairly busy-ish, little sketchy town that had like collapsed towers and stuff. And we kind of both went around looking for uh, our own personal gains of me looking for some more necromancy spells and Spencer looking for a package of some kind. Um, Eventually, us convening and meeting up in a similar area to where the package is because we all went to go talk to a guy named Cole. Turned out we were talking to the wrong Cole. And then a gargoyle got shot down, a package appeared, some guys came and took the package, Spencer and I tailed them. I'm not stealthy. They realized that I was just straight up walking behind them because duh.
Giant turtle walking
and
behind them.
and then I tried to fight them. That didn't work. Then they decided that I should follow them, is what they allowed me to do. And I did. And then Spencer continued to tail them, eventually getting to a tavern where I walked in with them into a back room. And Spencer tried to sneak into the back room, and that did not work. And if I'm correct, may have been threatened to be murdered in the bar.
Oh,
Or did you get kicked out?
oh no! I
Not kicked
ran
out,
and
kicked up.
got kicked.
Gotcha.
down.
Right.
I ran and then died.
Right. And then I was taken to the back room where then I was declared a rat before I could really speak, and then was immediately pummeled.
Yes.
And
that's
then
the funny
we have
thing
now
about criminal.
yeah, and
They
now we
take
have woken
offense
up
to people
in
they don't know.
being tied up in a back room, and that's where we
Yeah.
left off.
I think that covers pretty much everything.
With the Warforged berating us for not having read his mind of what he was planning.
Right, because the Warforged turned out to be on our side, kind of. Maybe.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
The
we'll see.
Warforged,
No
by the way,
fucking idea
who is
who you
named
are.
Cole. Anywho, take it away, Jeffrey.
So, for those of you who are knocked unconscious for your indiscretions against a bar full of criminals, let that be a lesson made to all of those listening. Maybe don't just like rip up to criminal organizations, 'cause that goes poorly most of the time. Those of you who are knocked unconscious, tied up, left for interrogation at the hands of people who are probably far more skilled at it than the average mook, you have come to consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Right, as we remember from last time, you're kind of locked up in a location.
Mm-hmm.
The back room of this bar, a very questionable, nameless establishment down deep underneath the city of Sharn, which we remember to be a major source of infrastructure and commerce in the world of Eberron. This all black Warforged, appropriately named Cole because of the fact that he's all black, has come in and said something along the lines of, wow, you guys really fucked it. That sucks for you guys. And then had to dip out for some unknown reason. Looking around the room, you can see it's a fairly unimpressive back room. A table off to the left, a small, less of a hearth, more of a like an old forge that's kind of on the opposite side of the room from you. You assume there to be a door behind you, just based off of the sounds of this warforged coal entering and exiting the room. Um, you can see that there are 3 chairs in this room. In one, the turtle, Master Yago. In another, a half-elf, shifty-looking man goes by the name of Tom. And in the other one, Michael, if you want to describe your character for me.
Yeah, for sure. So I will be Gimdrak, who is a 6'2" blue dragonborn who has a what looks to be a quite worn black leather eye patch over his right eye. Instead of hair on top of his head, he's got kind of like an almost a mane of white jagged spikes that stick out of the back and sort of outwards, and they're probably, the longest ones are like 3 or 4 inches long. Not super tough, but definitely looks spiny. He's got deep blue cobalt scales that are a bit iridescent. He weighs 306 pounds, so a big, beefy dragon.
It's a big chair.
And the chair's probably on a theater legs. He's 28 years old.
Fantastic.
He's wearing, in terms of clothing, he's wearing sort of like leather smock. That looks like it could take heat, acid, and as well as a cape.
Awesome. We love to hear it. So you're sitting there, bound to these chairs, kind of nothing much to do. What would you guys like to get up to, as you have this room, as far as you can tell, to yourself?
And this is after Cole said, effectively, better not be here when I come back. If I remember right from last time? Something on those
He-
lines?
Yeah.
Kind of partially through being like, all right, I'm gonna get you guys out of this, and I better not fucking see you. He was interrupted.
Yes.
Something came into his mind, and he left the room. So for now, you're alone in this room, waiting to see what happens next.
Yeah. Question: how are we tied
So-
to the chairs?
You are bound by iron chains. The chairs themselves are also made out of kind of a roughshod metal. They look to be bolted into the ground. And for all of you, these chains kind of start by whatever hip you may possess and wrap it all the way up to the shoulders.
Gotcha.
So our arms are pretty tightly bound then.
Yeah.
Well, our arms aren't bound at all. It's mainly our torso is bound, but like
Your arms are bound to your torso.
Arms are bound.
Oh, so our arms are like crossed over our chest.
Or by your side, however you prefer.
Okay.
But the chains go all the way around the outside.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Looking from what we can see without being able to look behind us, given our restraint, is there anything else in the room?
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Six.
You
That die is
You-
going elsewhere.
you see a lot of the very noticeable things. Oh, there's like a forge that they seem to be using as like a fireplace. It's dying down a little bit. The coals are red and there's some flames, but it's nothing too crazy. There's the big table that's off to one side of the room. You can see anything that could have been used as a weapon on your person is on that table. So daggers, staves, whatever you had on you, it's kind of lying in a disorganized pile on that table. Other than that, you can't see anything else around the room, nor can you determine whether or not there is anyone behind you.
Well, being an artificer, is it possible? Because I have something called Tasha's caustic brew.
Don't throw it at yourself, Michael.
So I'm wondering, all I need is a little bit of rotten food.
Okay.
So is there any way I could have, maybe like any meat in my teeth?
I would say yes, but you do need a spellcasting focus.
But you have one, but not in your hand.
Right.
In a city of magic and
They know better.
artifice, they are very careful in making sure that magic users are unable to do the magic things. Notably, all of your mouths are unbound. You're more than able to talk to each other. You can look around, right? You can twist your neck and things like that. The only thing is that your arms are bound. You're bound to the chair. The chair is bound to the ground. And any weapons or spellcasting focuses are not there. They have left you in armor, though.
They took my necklace. Bastards. It was a gift.
Then I'm gonna look at Grimjack and just ask, so what did you do to get tied up in here? I know why he's here, and I know why I'm here. Why are you here?
Well, that is a great question.
I don't remember.
I don't think I haven't talked to Jeff about this. So this is off the cuff. But they
You can come up with anything you want.
yeah. Well, I left more or less left the guild a few years ago, and I've been working in these back streets as an artificer for some of these low lifes for a while now, and well, they wanted some things from me, and this time it kind of backfired, and I soured one of their jobs. So I lost them a lot of money, lost them some crew, and they put me here to get something else out of me, I guess. Hence why they probably knew to take away the
Magic focus
ingredient. Yeah. They're a bunch of right bastards selling that for free.
Are our limbs also bound by chain, or is it like rope and then the chain is just on top?
Oh, the chain is everything.
Chain is everything. Is it
All
all
chain,
one long
baby.
piece of chain, or is it like smaller links?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay. That would be a 15.
Okay. It appears as though the majority of the chain, which wraps around your body, is just one long length of chain. But kind of jingling around a little bit and moving your arms to the extent that you're able to do, which isn't much, but it's enough. You gather that they may have used separate, smaller pieces of chain to bind your hands together. Just not enough to keep you from moving them, but just enough to make things awkward for you, um, as well as using smaller pieces of chain to ensure that the big length of chain is bound to the chair.
So, question, just because I would suspect that in a way I would have different muscles than most, because of the whole turtle thing. Do you think retreating into my shell would do anything?
You would be bound to the chair inside your shell.
Yes, but what about my arms and legs?
They would be inside the shell, and whatever chains are attached to your arms and legs would go with you.
But if they don't fit,
Then you're not getting your arms in your shell.
I was more asking on the fact that if I have the muscles to be able to pull my entire body into a shell, could those muscles possibly be strong enough to help loosen chains by doing so? Because I'm pretty sure no one else here has a hard carapace that they can, leverage chains off of.
If you're trying to be a strong man and strong man these chains, go ahead and make me a let's just say an athletics check
Okay.
as you kind of push against your the chains that bind you.
See, I had to roll a 15 for the one, but then a 6 for the other.
Okay, so you think to yourself, okay, like I'm pretty strong. I'm a big turtle. I'm gonna see if I can't push against these, maybe loosen them up a little bit or bend some links or something, and you kind of go like, hey, and these are some pretty solid chains.
Can I do it again?
No.
So
You will get the same result. They are strong chains.
can I look over at Uguay and just kind of shake my head in disapproval?
You just call me
And-
Uguay, you racist fuck.
I did, yes. All right, you're all named that.
I mean, we haven't introduced ourselves to him.
Them.
So.
Okay, I look over at this giant turtle trying to struggling against these chains, and I give him a disapproving look, and in an attempt to show up this turtle, I will try and flex and see if I can
I
work
hope you get it too.
loosen these chains.
I hope you get
Okay,
it
yeah,
too.
yeah. Give it a go. Make me an athletics check.
Athletics, gotcha. Uh, 20.
Fuck you, Michael. I can see Michael's rolls in the game log.
You push against the chains and you kind of like rotate your arms a little bit for added force, and you feel the links of the chains that bind your arms stretch and begin to pop. You think you could probably move your arms with a little bit more freedom now, but the ones around your chest are still holding strong.
Right, so my arms I've got a little bit more, like I got T-Rex arms now, but my
Mhm.
chest is still tightly bound to the chair.
You got it.
Is there, could I see, could I do with my T-Rex arms? Could I
Yeah.
sort of fiddle around and see if I could find any, maybe like connection points to get these chains a little bit looser?
Yeah, an investigation check would be great.
All right, I'll pop that up.
Am I able to see what's keeping the chains
A 6.
together?
Okay. Yeah, you let's see. So, Gimdrak, you look over the chains, and as you do that, the blood rushes to your head from the force of breaking the chains that bound your arms, and you kind of like have like a whiteout moment. You're like, whoa, I'm gonna
jacked.
chill. Um, and yeah, so for Tom, you just kind of like you turn your head and you look over and you look up and down, and looks like the chain starts on the ground. It's bolted into the ground just like the chair. It wraps around the body and then comes back down the back to the same spot as the start of the chain. And then the chains around your arms and the chains that bind the chest chains to the chair look like just like manacles.
Wait, so the stuff around us is like our arms manacles, but it's the actual chains are bolted to the ground. Did I
Yeah.
get that right?
So
Got
the chains that bind your arms into, a more uncomfortable position are manacles, but then the things keeping you to the chair are bolted into the ground.
Question.
Right.
Am I allowed to just start thrashing? Because my guy weighs 500 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that. I'd say make just a strength. Yeah, just make a strength check. It's
Okay.
you're just like
Do I get
whipping
an
yourself
advantage
against
since I
walls.
weigh 500 pounds?
No, you don't.
No, it's
You know why?
counteracted by the extra chains they used.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but they're
the
using a
ogres,
bolt.
the ogre members of this criminal organization, which you know exist, uh, they're also very large. So this is probably not their first time finding something that's large.
That is
Well,
fair.
I'm not necessarily large. I'm just dense. I actually, how tall am I? I think I actually might be 6 feet. Yeah, I'm 6 feet. Okay. Okay, strength check. Fuck off, game. 5.
Yep, you throw your weight around and you're doing your best and you're like pulling things into your shell and then forcing them out of your shell. And the chains stay as taut as they
Yeah.
always had been.
By the way, just for clarification, the first one that was a 6 was actually a 4 plus 2. This one was a 3 plus 2.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Going down in the world.
Yeah.
After this giant turtle thrashes in their chair, I will once again just shake my head in disapproval.
So after probably
I'm
like
gonna shoot
5 to
Michael a
10
glance
minutes.
of, if I get out of this, I'm probably going to hit you.
He will meet
probably
that
about-
glance with his one good eye.
Yeah. 5 to 10 minutes of struggling against these chains, flexing, throwing your weight around. Water.
I imagine just like
you-
I'm flailing my little T-Rex arms.
Yeah, you're like trying to grab it at like links in the chain and it's kind
Yeah,
of slipping
exactly.
off. It's really awkward. You hear the door open behind you, footsteps come in, and Cole, the black warforged, walks in front of you into your line of sight, and he kind of like looks you up and down. And he like looks at your chains, and he takes an extra long period of time to look at Gimdrak's chains and kind of like gives him like an approving nod, like nice, you made it farther than I expected you to. Good job. And he comes around. And he goes, oh, all right, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. Same plan. I'm gonna let you guys out, but you guys are in a world of shit. You see the people that this place belongs to, the desk. They think that you guys are spies for a rival criminal family, the Boromars. Now I got a contact, and she might be able to help you out. Might be able to get you some money, might be able to get the desk off your back. But she's gonna need you guys to do a job first. Now, if you agree, I'll give you the address. So I'll send you her way. You'll have my blessing. I go into hiding because I'm not fucking with these guys. Everything's hunky dory. You do the job, you get to go free. If you say no, I'm gonna leave you in here. I'm gonna get different mooks to do this job. Those are your options, and you can find out what Dask does to people who spy on them, which is not pretty, by the way. So, what are your thoughts?
I'm in.
No other choice.
Decisive.
I was gonna say,
I like it.
Sounds like either die here or die out there.
Yeah, you have a great choice. You get to choose where you die. It's lovely.
And just to be clear here, Cole.
Yeah, what do you
They
want?
think we're spies because of your plan you roped us into. At least for me.
Yeah, that sucks for you guys.
Got
Maybe
no
next
choice.
time
I
they
shoot
can
another
do
glance of
that
when we are done with this, I will probably hit him too.
Yeah, it wasn't my best plan. It's circumstances were I don't know why I'm explaining myself to you. You guys are fucking mooks.
Just
Okay,
get us out of here, man.
cool. I'll let you out. I've already bribed the dudes outside. They're gonna look a blind eye to you guys leaving. Now keep this in mind. You guys need to go to the airship dock. The top of Lyrandar Tower. Alright, it's the big one. With the airships. You guys got it?
Yep.
You can just
You want me to-
nod, you
you
can
want me to
say
give you a-
yes.
Do you want one of us to give you a good punch so it makes it look like we escaped? Jump to?
What? No, God, no. I'm going into hiding.
You
Shit.
sure?
I'm not gonna see these goons again.
We're happy.
Yeah. No, that's fine. You're looking for Germaine. All right, she'll find you. Don't worry about it. And as he's saying this, he kind of goes around the back, and you can hear kind of like a the sound of like a blade leaving a sheath, but he didn't have any blades on him, and then popping sounds. You feel the chains loosen around your bodies as he's popping the bolts out of the ground, and after some fiddling with the manacles, you are completely free.
Get up and grab my stuff from the table.
Yep, grab all my stuff.
Yeah, same. And Gimjack will take a little bit of extra time and just make sure all the vials that he keeps on his chest and in his little bag are all arranged just right.
And while
Yep.
he's doing that, I'm guessing me and Spencer walk out, and I wait behind the door for him to walk out to slam it in his face.
He's gonna run an attack roll on me.
I'm not trying
Yeah,
to.
are
I'm not hitting you with the door. I'm just slamming it before you get a chance to walk through it.
Oh, I see. You're passive aggressively shutting it right. before
Yes,
you-
exactly. I'm doing the thing where it's like I'm holding the door and then I'm not holding the door.
Well, when that happens, Gimjack will just stop, take a little bit of an extra second, not open the door right away. Take a deep breath, and he's gonna open it calmly. And just slowly open the door and walk out.
Very notably, Cole was not in the room when you turned around.
That is notable.
Dude just kind of dipped.
Interesting. Okay. So now we're just in a tavern with two bodyguards that are closing their eyes right now.
Or are we in the back alley kind of thing?
No, well, you were in the back room. You exit the back room. You're now in the main room of this seedy tavern. It's very, low lit, oil lantern. There are no windows. There's a singular door at the far side. You can see the bartender is just kind of like polishing a grimy glass with a grimier cloth, and this big kind of beefy what looks like a full-blooded orc just kind of like glances at you as you come out, and just goes right back to just kind of staring off into space. There are no other patrons in the tavern at this time.
Interesting.
And I will just leave and start making my way as far away from here as I can right now.
Yeah.
And just, if the other two are following, good on them, but I will just slowly start making my way to the tower without trying not to attract more attention. There we go.
For a brief
Makes
second,
sense.
Yago is just gonna kind of think like he did just disappear, so like we could just leave and not do what he wants us to, and just also go into hiding. But then continues towards the airship dock.
Gimjack is gonna follow them to the door. He's also while he's going, he's not gonna take extra time. But is there any like food or leftover drink on the tables as he's walking by?
There's like, dregs at the bottom of a cup or two. Some like old breadcrumbs kind of cast across a couple of the tables.
If there's any like slightly like a heel of a loaf, he's just gonna take that and stuff that in his pocket.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to find just a little bit on the floor.
Yeah, he'll take that, put it in his bag. There's a little he's got a little hip pouch. He's tucks it in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, are you traveling together, or are all three of you traveling in separate directions?
I'm probably just heading in whatever route I think is fastest to the air dock, but I don't know if I would necessarily know
Well,
what that is.
I know that I'm been around here a while, right? We
Mhm.
determined that?
Yep.
So I kind of know my way around, so would know where the tower is that we're going?
Yeah, absolutely. The Lyrandrar
Lyrandar Tower?
Yeah, Lyrandar Tower is
Airship dock.
where all airship travel to and from Sharn passes through. It's a pretty
Okay.
notable place.
So would I have come from there in order to get here?
You took a ship.
Okay. Is
You
that an
came up the
airship?
Dagger River.
Okay, Dagger River. So I wouldn't know where this is.
That is correct.
Is there
And
any
this is your
signage
first
around?
day here.
And I imagine I would also know where it is because I'm also been in here.
So, Gimdrak and Tom, both of you know where you're going. Yago, there is no signage because this city's fucking huge. So you probably have to be a little bit closer than where you currently are to get signage. But if you were to ask literally anyone on the street, they can give you direction.
I'll just kind of start falling behind the other guys.
I imagine like once we get outside and are sort of like we're milling about us, I will introduce myself a little bit more formally to Tom and
Uguay.
Yago.
Swear
And
to
also,
God.
I'll say I made sure to say the right name. And I'll say, well, bit of an awkward way to meet. I'll be honest. I was not hoping to make friends chained to chairs in an interrogation room, but I'm Gimdrak. Nice to meet you, and hopefully we can work together to clear our names. Now tell me again, what are your two names?
Yago slightly cringed at the word friends.
I'm Thumb, and friends are hard to make, even harder to keep. So we'll see how this goes for this contract, and see where we're at the end of this.
Sounds good to me. For now, you're my friend. Let's hope it keeps that way. He's only really got one eye, so he's just deadlocked with one of yours. Doesn't blink much.
He doesn't blink much.
He's got really moist eyeballs.
And then I imagine they're permanently dried out from all the artificing.
Jesus.
He's just used to it.
Yep.
Well, we should probably start heading away from this place before someone else comes back, especially the smaller one.
All right. Well, we'll talk while we walk.
Yeah, so for those of you who are native to the city or who have been here for a while, you'd know that the trek from where you are right now, which is a place called the Cogs, undercity of Sharn, all the way up to the airship location, which I won't try to say because it's got a lot of Y's and R's and very interesting places. It's going to probably take you about 3.5 hours on foot.
Shit.
Yeah, and that's including, taking all the shortcuts that and taking the, massive city spire lifts that are designed to make travel through the city possible. If you were to try to go through back alleys and avoid populated spaces, it would probably take you 2 times that time. But the locals would know that the House of Orion has a system of carriages for hire. The House of Orion being particularly well known for running a lot of the transport into and out of the city. So if you're willing to spend a little bit of coin, you can get there in half the time.
Would we know what their rough cost would be?
It costs 2 copper pieces per ward traveled. You would be traveling through like 4 wards, so it'd be about 8 copper.
I have no idea how much money I have, but Gimdrak will be willing. Actually, how much money does Gimdrak have?
Depends on
you should have a starting amount of money
depends.
that comes with being an artificer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
being an artificer and depending on what type of person you kind of picked, like, did you pick that you were poor? Did you pick that you were wealthy? Were you comfortable?
Did Wilbur? Jeff?
Yes.
Just because I can't remember now. Because I didn't write it down. Wilbur, the gnome that sent me on this wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Had he given me the payment in advance for this one, or no?
No, there was no
Okay.
advance payment. I'd say
Then
probably at the bare minimum, all of you would maybe have
I have
5 to
gold.
10 gold on you.
I have 5 gold.
only 5 to 10. Or
I
is
mean,
Brave
you can have more,
Because
but
that depends on
also
what you picked. Whether you like, if you picked wealthy, I think you start with 20.
5 to 10 seems solid for me, considering you just got locked up in a den of criminals.
I
Yeah,
have
True.
15.
You probably
I
stole most of your gold.
my sheet says 15.
15 it is. It's the glory of character sheets.
I also had gotten paid by Wilbur before this, so I would have a little more,
Well, unless the criminals stole it.
unless they took it. So I'm good to drop down to
I'll
Any
say everybody grab 15 gold.
Why am I getting 10 gold?
evening it out.
Everybody
I
gets
bent over and
15
I
gold.
found 10 gold on the ground. Oh, cool.
They
I
don't-
guess I'll spend 8 copper pieces to to get on this carriage. So I guess
Yeah.
it's 8 per person, not 8 per carriage, right?
It is 8 per person.
8 per person.
And
Yeah,
I will pay 8.
I'll go for it.
I will also pay 8.
Out of
Okay.
curi- Do
And
we
I'll-
all
I'll,
fit in one carriage, or does Master Yago have to be in his own? How big are these carriages?
This is a very diverse city with a very diverse population. You can fit all 3 of you into a carriage. These are like big industrial. They look like they're powered by some kind of magic or steam, or steamy magic, really. They can pull you.
Do they have a driver?
They do, yeah.
I'll give the driver an extra 2 copper.
Okay. This so you make your way up from the Cogs into the lower city, which is the very base of where the massive towers of Sharn start to intersect with the ground, and you're able to find a carriage, and it's being driven by this kind of like very thin, kind of like perpetually coal covered human, and he kind of like tips his hat at you and thanks for the tip, and just kind of goes like, "So, where you going?"
Going up to Lirandar Tower.
What, you catching an airship or something?
Something like that. See the
It's a great place to be. Anyway, get in and I'll take you off. There's, the doorway in the side of the carriage.
Get in.
So as you make your way up the lower city, into the middle, into the upper, you kind of break out of the oppressive darkness that's cast by the fact that it's just a massive stack of buildings pushed together as close as personally possible. And it's like very early evening. It's that kind of reddish purplish of twilight. And as you make your way up into the upper city to where the tower is located, that light starts to get darker and darker as it pushes into the late evening. You arrive at kind of like an airport terminal kind of deal, where the driver hops down and opens the door and goes, "All right, here you go."
And then as Gimjack gets out, he says, "You took me the route I liked." Then he hands him. He puts 2 extra coppers in his hand.
Why, thank you kindly, sir. Tell you what, if you're ever around and you need a carriage, you can just here, hold on. And he kind of like pats his pockets a little bit. He comes out with a piece of parchment and he hands it to you. And it's my card. And you just rip it in half, and I'll come pick you up anytime.
It's a date. And he puts that very, very safely in a special pocket in his hip pouch.
Fantastic. And if you ever asking about me, my name is Yago.
Fuck.
Name's Iago.
My name's Yago. It's with a
Great.
J.
I like it.
Yeah, a lot of people spell it with a Y. Makes
Fucking
mistakes all the
hate you
time.
so much. Such
for
creative
getting us here,
storytelling.
This is the most creative storytelling.
Anyway, I got jobs to do. Again, if you need me, you know how to find me.
Gimjack will
And
just
he-
give him a nice solemn nod.
Yep, he just hops back into his little driver's seat and sets back off down towards the middle city.
Guess we have to go
How much does
somewhere
an
for
airship
Jermaine to
cost?
find us.
Does anyone remember what the name of that was?
Jermaine.
What? Jermaine? Is the
Yeah.
person that is gonna be looking for us, I guess?
No, but what where do we have to go for that?
The dock.
The dock where we are.
Yep, you're where
Dock
you
of-
need to be. You're just waiting for whoever this Jermaine is to come up to you. So feel free to role play amongst yourself for a bit. I just have to hit the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yago's going to sit on the either nearest bench, or if there isn't a bench, just sit on the fucking ground. And he's going to proceed to continue reading some of his necromancy books.
Gimjack will also kind of sort of sit down in place. I was trying to find like a nice little comfy, what looks like maybe a comfy thing. And he'll sort of pull out what looks like a bunch of nonsense and kind of sort it on parchment.
What you got there?
Oh, should be ingredients. Those damn stupid thieves messed up all my organization in this pouch. How am I supposed to make my artifacts if I don't know where things are?
Oh,
He's very intense, very scowling, and then he also has a little book that he's marking things down, marking like amounts down in.
well, that's why I don't tend to carry much on me. Tends not to go missing should trouble come afoot.
Yeah, you look like you travel light.
Yeah, well, when it's hard to trust anyone or anything, you tend not to get too attached to having your stuff. Fewer things that you have to protect, better.
And what warm history do you have that gave you that outlook?
Well, just people who claim to be friends or working with you that don't tend to want to share in the rewards later. Try to cut you out and take you out of the competition.
Yeah, sounds like the kind of friends you can make in this town.
Yeah. Some of them pay well. Most of them take what you have.
As long as you find enough that pay well, and a little less that double cross you, you end up ahead. Usually.
Usually, well, the last guy ended up with me in this mess, so we'll see how this goes.
Well, how did you and Yago over there meet? I don't know. He's saying this also so that Yago can hear, if he wants to join in the conversation.
Yago does not move.
It does not. Fair.
Doesn't even flinch to the sound of his name.
I did
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I did this job for this guy, and then he wanted me to do another job, and I was getting this package that was coming down from a giant gargoyle as our black robot friend there came with presumably some of the Dask gang to collect it. I was supposed to get it before them and haul ass and didn't get to it. Saw this portal falling behind them. Figured I'd follow behind and see if we're on the same path or if he had similar business, and tried to get into the room we were locked in, and didn't quite make it past the eye of that bartender we came out by. And some dang little pixie shot me with a bow. Knocked
like
me
some
out.
bad luck.
Yeah.
So you guys wait around for probably about 30 or 45 minutes. At this point, the sun is well and truly starting to set, and as darkness descends onto the city, you can see lights begin to light up the towers around you from bottom to top. Windows as people turn on oil lamps and light candles. It's like stars showing up in the night sky. A cool wind is blowing across the tower this evening. It's kind of drowning out the industrial noises of the city below you. You can hear very like loud footsteps, like someone's wearing really clacky shoes. And a human in her mid 30s with close cropped black hair and a glowing pipe in her mouth. The bowl of which is shaped like a dragon's head, uh, reaching up towards the sky. Approaches you and kind of like pulls out a piece of paper and then like looks at one of you and holds a piece of paper up and then puts it down, and gives a little smile and nods and says, "Thanks for coming. I assume that you're the poor sods that got wrapped up with coal."
We might be.
Shame about that. It's never good to see that innocents are getting pulled into the gang game. So, what are your names? I like to be familiar with the people that I work with.
I'm Gimdrak.
The big reptile over there is Uguay or Django
Oh, yeah.
or
I knew a turtle called Uguay once.
I literally just said my name, Spencer.
something on those lines.
And this over here is
Yeah.
some fuck named Tom.
Fair enough. Well,
You're really quiet there, Sam. I don't know if you're trying
yeah,
to talk.
I can see his mouth moving, but it's really fucking quiet.
It says it's full volume.
Must be in the shell reading. It's pretty dark
Yeah.
in there, I'd assume.
I hope he brought like a candle or something. Anyway, this is all beside the point. Let me give you the down low. Cole's let me know what your deal is. The Dask's on your back. They think you're spies. You're obviously not spies. Look at you. You guys look like fucking weenies. Anyway, so good news is that you've come to me because I got some contacts around the city. I can probably help you out. The bad news is if this goes south, the Dask are going to chase you for the rest of your lives. But hey, they were going to do that anyway. You guys don't happen to know where Cole went after he left you guys,
No.
do you?
He unlocked us and was gone.
Shit. Okay.
Was he supposed to meet up with you somewhere?
Well, normally he lets me know where he goes when he has to dip out like that. He's an informant. Yeah, yeah. Normally he lets me know. He's my informant inside the desk, and normally he's a lot better at keeping me in the loop. But whatever, it's fine. All right. It all starts with Cole's package, and not the sexual kind.
Yeah.
In his official capacity, shall we say, as the mole in the desk, Cole came up with some interesting information. Apparently, the Dask are looking to pull up some artifact or something from the lower city, way down in the Cogs.
At the mention of artifact, the Gimdrax's ears will peak. Well, his ear holes will be peaked.
And like, we're not talking the kind of artifact that rubs your feet or gives you a nice hot bubble bath. We're talking the kind of artifact that was built for the last war. Serious shit. So here's what I'm gonna do. First, we're gonna find Cole, because he's got everything we need. Then we're gonna work together. Well, we're not gonna work together, but we're gonna work together to keep that artifact out of the hands of the Dask. And then, when all goes well, I speak to my contacts, and we get you out of the Dask's bad books.
The artifact belongs to the temple.
It's a 50-50 kind of situation. The artifact technically belongs to nobody, but it belongs to somebody. And let's make sure that somebody isn't a Dask.
The guild made it first.
Right. Okay. Is that a yes? That's a you're on board kind of thing, yeah?
That's a yes.
Got much
Perfect.
choice here, Jermaine?
No, not really. Well, again, you can be hunted by the Dask for the rest of your living days. Here, that's fun.
What else is new?
It's the
It's
usual.
it's at least good exercise.
Exactly. What about you, Turtle Boy?
Yago just kind of shrugs and says yes, and also then pulls out a small scrap of paper, and if they can see it, Grimdrack and Tom can see that he does write down both of their names, and they might notice that beside Tom's name there are now 3 X's, and by Grimdrack's name there is now 2.
I like
Gimdrack
him.
definitely stores that away.
He's verbose, this guy. Okay.
He doesn't say anything. He just puts the X's and puts it back.
Here,
I'm
25
surprised
gold
he's
pieces for
literate.
each of you. This
Thank
should
you.
be enough to get your search started.
Also, Yago heard that
I-
I put a 4th X besides Tom.
I recommend that you guys go check out the Cog Carnival. It's a bar in the high walls, frequented by Warforged. Cole might be using it as a hiding place. Not many people that aren't Warforged tend to go over there. If you do this job for me and you do it well, not only am I going to pull your asses out of the fire, but I'll pay you. Just to make it a little bit more agreeable. Also, and this is important for you to have, she pulls out a rolled up piece of parchment that kind of has a plasticky kind of sheen over it. It's like it's laminated, but not with laminate. It's like magical laminate, and just kind of holds it out. You're gonna need this. It's a Sharn watch, writ of enforcement. I'm deputizing you.
Well, thank you.
The down low, it authorizes the 3 of you to conduct official duties of the watch under my authority. So, let's try not to abuse it.
Roger that.
Fantastic. Now, the faster you can get this done, the better. Not only am I worried about that artifact, but worried about Cole. He's been a good informant for me, and I'd rather hope that he doesn't end up a bucket of bolts at the bottom of the cog.
I'm sure he'll be
Well,
fine.
Are we getting onto an
So-
airship?
Questions?
Are we getting onto an airship?
No, we're staying here in Sharn, man.
So next step is finding Cole.
That's the one. He's the one with all the information. Unless you guys have his package. Not in the sexual way.
Well, I
Nope,
can't
that's
have
what-
his package unless I mutilated him.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what he had hired me through Mediaries for, and look where that got me. So let's go find him.
What was the name of the Warforged bar?
You're looking for the
Cog
Cog
Carnival.
Carnival. It's down in the high walls.
It better be clowns.
Yeah. So questions before you go, or can I
Nope.
assume that you people are intelligent?
Yago proceeds to walk away.
Any other hideaways that he normally goes to when he needs to talk to you or anything?
Yeah, I would start there. That would be the #1 place to be. But if he really thinks he's screwed and you don't find him there, you might be able to find him in Terminus Station. It's also down by where the high walls are. It's Lower Tavik's Landing, but it's a big enclave of House Orion, where the lightning rail ends up. He might try to go to ground there. I know he's got like an apartment somewhere in the terminus. So you might be able to find him there.
Now, I imagine he's not using Cole as the name he's going by right now.
I mean, probably not. At least not in the terminals, or in the terminus, I should say. But to be perfectly honest, if you roll up to the Cog Carnival, he'll probably just use the name. Again, not many people go there except for the Warforged.
Well, I'll be happy to make my acquaintance.
Okay, well, best of
No
luck, and
better
hopefully
time
I
than
see
the
you back in
present.
one piece.
So Cole will give us our next instructions when we find Cole.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we forgot our man.
And knowing the city, Highwall's super far from here, or like an hour?
Let me check the map. 'Cause
There's a map.
Like,
I have a map.
You don't have.
Like-
You guys
Shit.
have not bought a map. Nor would you need to if you're locals, because I can just tell you where shit is. But
do we need to go get a carriage to do this in an effective manner, or do we need to actually just walk around the corner and we're there?
it's not around the corner, unfortunately. Where's the fucking map to this goddamn place? I'd say it's probably like an hour's walk. You can cut it down to half of that if you want, but it's about an hour.
Thumb is just gonna walk there. Stretch his legs.
Well, we'll all walk.
Yep.
Gimjack will turn to Yago and say, Yago, you good to walk?
I already said yep.
Give him a sharp nod and follow Tom.
Bless him. Yeah. So for the locals, because you would have a lot of this information, the High Walls is in Lower Tavik's Landing. Tavik's Landing is the district you're already in, but everything in Sharn is split by height. You know this to be kind of like a post-war ghetto. It's home to refugees of the last war. A lot of Warforged, but also people from the Kingdom of Sire, which was wiped out during the last war, and refugees from all over. They call it the High Walls because it's surrounded by walls and has a massive, magically warded gate that keeps it sealed in times of unrest. So it is straight up just like a refugee ghetto.
Right.
Interesting.
Takes you about a half an hour to get there. You make your way to the massive gates. You can see that standing kind of a couple feet outside of the gate on either end are members of the Sharn Watch. They seem kind of lax. I don't necessarily seem uptight or anything like that. And as soon as you make your way through the gate, the stench of just body odor, garbage, tobacco just like hit you like a wall. There's crumbling, vandalized buildings, towers peeking up and looking down at you from outside the walls. Um, Most of the people in this district are just kind of standing around idly on street corners or sitting down, splayed out in alleyways. Most people are looking at you with suspicion and distrust. There's no one like running at you to sell goods or anything. They seem to be sticking to themselves.
Sounds good to me. And how far a walk is it from the gates to the Cog Carnival?
Good question. You don't know where it is.
Ah. Well, and I like to. I'll go up to the one of the members of the watch.
Mhm.
Are they just humans, or are they any other race?
This one is looks to be, maybe half elven. They've got human appearance, but
Mhm.
slightly more angular, a little bit more, kind of, well, elven in their appearance than you'd expect like a full-blooded human to be.
Right. Well, Gimjack's gonna go up, and he's gonna approach one of the guards. He's go. Hi there. How's it
Oh.
going today?
Hello, citizen. Well, thank you. What can I help you with?
I'm an artificer with the guild. Then he kind of holds up the amulet that he has around his neck. That is the symbol of Gond, the
Mhm.
god that is the religious artificers guild.
Yep.
He kind of flashes that, and he goes, "I'm in here looking for some ingredients for a new artifact I'm making, and I've been informed by my guild that I should take a look and talk to some warforges. They might have some good ideas for my new work."
At the mention of talking to Warforged, the guard kind of looks a little confused, like, what the fuck would you ever talk to a Warforged about? And kind of like nods a little bit and goes, all right. What does this have to do with me? Don't tell me one of them ripped you off.
Well, so when he gives him the confused look, and Jackson will go, "I know. I thought the same thing. I don't know what a warforge would help me with in my work, but my guild master was adamant that they would have the answers some of the answers that I would need." And then he would go, "Well, I'm mostly just looking for places they gather. I hear there are some good taverns that I might be able to solicit some information from."
Yeah, you'd be looking for the Cog Carnival. If you follow this street down and make a left just past the, you see that column over there, you take a left there. You can't miss it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And one more thing.
Yes.
Are there any good tobacco shops along the way?
None that are good. If you're looking for just a shop, I'd try Smokey's Smoke Emporium. Just
All
down
right.
there, 3 doors down on your right.
Thank you, good sir.
Indeed. Stay safe and don't commit crimes.
I'll say enjoy the weather, and imagine walk into the gates.
Follow behind Gimjack since he knows the way now.
Continue to follow behind both of them since I don't know this place at all.
Yeah, he will. Gimjack will walk towards the Smoky Smoke Emporium.
Okay. It's there. It exists. It's kind of grimy, kind of gross. It's a nondescript, crumbling building like everything else, with kind of a ramshackle wooden door on the front.
So Gimjack will sort of go to the door, and sort of as they're walking up to it, because he's obviously making a detour, he's just gonna say, "Well, they took my stuff. They took my tobacco and my pipe. So I've got to get some replacements. We're just gonna stop in here if you don't mind.
Yeah, no,
And he's
go.
not gonna. He's not really waiting for a yes, and he's just kind of gonna walk into the Smoky Smoke Emporium.
Yara's
Yeah.
going to wait outside. He's not interested in smoking.
As advertised, this place is smoky. It's like walking into a boys' bathroom in a high school. It's just a fucking vape cloud
Perfect.
coming wafting out the door as soon as you open it. It's a little difficult to see, but the shop is not large. It's approximately shoebox size. Most of it is taken up by a very large counter. And as you get a little bit closer, you come to realize why the counter is so large. As the person who is manning the counter looks to be a minotaur. While not incredibly uh, incredibly tall, probably about 6 foot. The horns that are above his head curl up and add another 2.5 feet to his height, and the density of his body is worth noting. Like this is a very large minotaur, and as you enter, he just kind of makes a grunt, and waits for whatever you're going to do.
How fluffy is the Minotaur?
It's
Sorry,
particularly
Michael. What are you gonna do to the Minotaur?
Give it some nice pets.
It's covered in
That's a bad idea.
kind of coarse, short black fur, with a
Like a black lab.
with a white patch that circles its left eye.
Good. Well, so when Gibjack gets in, and he is met with this wall of smoke. He's just gonna take a nice deep breath, kind of relieved, like, oh, this is so nice. And then give a nod to the Minotaur behind the counter. And he's gonna look. Do they have any He's basically looking for the cheapest of cheap pipes in the establishment. Is there a basket of pipes?
You take a second to just kind of look around and acclimate yourself to the space, to the smoke. There's nothing on display.
There's is it it's like empty bare walls kind of thing?
Yeah.
So seeing that, he's kind of be a little surprised. He's gonna walk up to the he's gonna stride up to the counter next to the Minotaur and goes, "Hi."
The Minotaur just looks down at you and kind of gives you a nod.
So I'm 6'2". The Minotaur is 6 foot. So does the Minotaur technically look up? Or is he on? Is he on like one of those pharmacist's dazes where he's raised?
He's standing on like a little step stool.
Okay, I love that. So Gundrak will look up this Minotaur, and he will say, "I'm looking for a pipe. Looking for a pipe. Looking for some tobacco. I want 2 pipes. Cheapest beater I can find, and one that can fit in this front pocket here." And he points to a little, kind of like a regular shirt pocket on his vest.
Okay.
He says, "I want it to fit in there, and I want it to fold. After that, I just want some nice, extra smoky tobacco."
The Minotaur takes a moment, gives you a little nod, and then reaches down underneath the counter and pulls out 2 pipes. One that would 100% fit into that pocket, and a secondary one that's rough hewn but is of nice enough quality, and puts them down on the counter in front of you, and then reaches down again and pulls out um, a set of scales, a large bag of tobacco, and just kind of points to the scale and kind of gives like a shrug, like, how much do you want?
And I don't know actual amounts, but just
Do you want like one smoke? Do you want 10 smokes? Do you want 100 smokes?
he'll take 50 smokes.
Okay.
50 bowls. 50 bowls of the
The 50
pipe.
fat bowls. All right.
Yeah.
So the Minotaur just kind of nods again and starts to very carefully, with his big fingers, reach in and pull out tobacco and weigh it on the scales and figure out exactly how much you need, and then wraps it up in a um, like kind of a rough cloth bag with twine, and puts that right next to the pipes, puts the scales away, puts the tobacco away, um, and then pulls out a sheet of parchment with a list of prices, and points to one pipe regular, one pipe specialty, and 50 units of tobacco. Uh, the total comes to probably about 50 copper.
Gimjack will hand over. He'll count out the 50 copper, and he hands it to him. And he says, he just goes, "You've been very kind," and he'll give him 10 more copper.
Oh, all right. The Minotaur kind of gives you a nod in thanks as you hand him essentially 6 silver pieces. And just kind of goes back to sitting around in his incredibly smoky room. He's not smoking anything. You're not quite sure where the smoke is coming from.
That's even better. And Gimjack will just when he says, like, you know, you've been very nice to me, he says, "I'm Gimjack. I'll be back."
He
And
kind
just
of gives you a little nod.
and then we can head out. And well, when they leave, he has a little, like, kind of silver tobacco tin.
Mhm.
So sort of like while they're walking, take some of that out, and he will kind of fill that tin, and then he will, in the little pocket one,
Yeah.
he will fill that, and then light it as they walk through to the rest of the Cog Carnival.
While Gimdrak is in the pipe shop, Tom and Yago, what are you guys up to? Just standing around, seeing what's going on?
Outside, still reading my book.
Pretty much, I might have gone a little further ahead because I would have somewhat paid attention to the conversation Gimjack was having with the watch. But at this point, we're working together, so I'd rather not get too separated from everyone else.
Yeah.
So probably walk a little further on and just like looking around, trying to see if maybe Cole is not necessarily in the Cog Carnival, but somewhere else. But not going out of my way necessarily.
Yeah, you kind of like walk down the street, and you look down the street that the guard indicated you would be able to find it. And you can see that there is just kind of like a gross, it looks like a dive bar, it smells like a dive bar.
It may be a dive bar.
It's maybe a dive bar. There is a warforged like sitting outside of it with a like a big chunk of wood where his left foot would be. And you watch as some people go in and some people come out. And it's mostly warforged, but there are some non-warforged people that enter the bar. Worth noting is that the the Warforged outside the bar only takes money from people who aren't Warforged.
Ah, he's racist.
And that is what you see by, kind of not going too far into this down this street. And Master Iago,
Yes.
looking across the street, you kind of glance up from your book for a moment. There's a bookstore right across the street.
I proceed to continue reading my book.
Doesn't care about those books.
No, because last time I went to a bookstore and talked to a necromancer, the guy got all weird. So I'm going to continue reading my necromancy book.
Yeah. So you sit and you read.
Yep.
People walk by. No one really pays you much attention. And after this whole exchange with Gimdrak happens, he comes out. You guys meet back up. Gimdrak, as you light the pipe, it is incredibly smoky.
That is exactly what he asked for. I want Gimdrak to be enwreathed in smoke.
Yeah, you are puffing like a smokestack.
That is phenomenal. Exactly what I paid for. Gimdrak is ecstatic. This is the happiest he's looked. They've Tom and Iago, I've seen him look this whole time.
So all of you are gathered up outside of Smoky's Smoke Emporium.
It's like we'll have to pay to get in to look for our friend.
The Warforged are making the non-forged pay, eh?
Yep. Well, I mean, they have to pay for it somehow. It's not like Warforged need sustenance. Don't know if they even serve anything in there.
True.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the food's like at a Warforged tavern.
Let's head over.
And Gimdrak will cede this to Tom, as he seems to know what's going on for getting in.
Perfect. So you guys make your way further down the street, and you take the left turn at the column, and make your way down this side street towards this dilapidated bar, the Cog Carnival. As you get closer, you can see that the walls are like covered in graffiti. Things like "forged or scrap," "leave metalheads," shit like that. Evidently, Warforged are not well liked. And as you make your way up, this Warforged who's sitting outside of the bar just puts up a hand and goes, "All right, flesh skins, if you're coming in, it's 5 copper apiece."
Let's keep the names to a minimum. Got nothing against you. Said nothing against us.
He just points a thumb to the graffiti.
I'm not the one that did it. What do you want from me?
That's nice. It was your people, though.
You're 7.
It's appreciated.
Gimdrak will just he'll count out the 5, and he'll hand it over and say,
"Thank you.
I'm Gimdrak."
I'm Ingot. It's nice to
Iago
meet you,
hands it
Gimdrak.
over and doesn't say anything.
Classic.
I like your friend. He's very verbose.
Yeah, he's the talker of the group.
Clearly. Anyway, you're welcome in.
He pulls out the
Try
piece of
not to
paper
cause
again
too much of a
and
ruckus.
puts another X beside Gimdrak's name.
Perfect.
Just in case if either of you give a shit. Gimdrak's at 3. Tom's at 5.
I like to imagine Gimdrak is doing it incredibly dramatically.
Every time he pulls it up very slowly, looks them dead in the eyes, makes the X very aggressively, and then puts it back while maintaining constant eye contact.
Yeah, okay,
Each
like
and
that.
every
Good.
time. Regardless of if anyone else says anything or looks at him, he still does it.
That's perfect. It's okay. Gimdrack can't actually see what's happening because you're on his right side and he has no peripheral vision.
Gimdrack is completely oblivious to the situation at hand.
Yeah, he can't see. He literally is blind in his right eye.
Wow.
So you pay and get the 5 or 7 copper apiece, and make your way in. It's pretty much the same on the inside as it was on the outside. It's a pretty divey dive bar. Smoky low flames in a fireplace, kind of barely illuminate the cracked stone walls and the quite frankly filthy floor. It's a single room, and it is crowded with Warforged. Looking around the room, you can see that almost every single one of them has some kind of damage. We're talking missing digits, missing limbs, scars, burns, acid burns, fire burns, you know, gouged out holes, a variety of other wounds. Um, they all are they're gathered around tables. They're playing dice games, card games, darts, board games, and some like carnival style competitions like ring toss or like throwing a ball at weighted iron cups to make them fall down, shit like that. Um, and a small bar in the corner uh, seems to be the place to get whatever the fuck these guys are drinking. Um, a
G'day.
Warforged bartender is currently shouting uh, insults at a guy who's losing a game really badly.
I love that. Screw that guy in particular. Can I roll a history or something, or something else to figure out like why will the Warforged have wounds?
Yeah, a history check would be perfect.
All right, I'll roll a history check. 22.
All right. You know a lot. As someone who's kind of intimately familiar with um, machines, machine working, and as all 3 of you were alive during the last war, you know kind of some baseline knowledge and then some slightly less baseline knowledge. The Warforged, as the name would imply, were built for the last war. Um, they didn't exist before it, and nobody expected them to exist after it. They were purpose-built weapons meant to fight a war. So when the war ended, um, not only did they suddenly become a sentient species that now inhabits this world, um, but they were also a sentient species that's hated by pretty much all of the other ones, bar maybe the monsters, because they were weapons. They killed people. Um, almost anyone who lost family members or loved ones in the last war um, could probably trace one of those back to um, some weaponized warforged of any variety. Um, you get the kind of vibe, and living in this town for as long as you have, that um, warforged in Sharn are tolerated, um, if even that. Um, so what you're probably looking at right now is veterans, because all Warforged are, um, who have fought in a war and come out the other side, and they're all damaged because they were weapons, and that's just what happens to weapons. Um, based on what you've seen outside and your knowledge and all that, this is probably a safe space, so they can, you know, be who they are without worry of someone throwing a rock at you or something.
And who made the Warforged? Like, I'm assuming, I don't know if was the Artificers Guild involved in the creation of the Warforged?
Well, the Artificers Guild. Hold on one moment as I get the actual specific name, because this is now important. Um, So the Artificers Guild that you serve under, which is a relatively major one in the city of Sharn, falls under the umbrella of one of the great noble houses, the dragon-marked houses, specifically House Cannith, which is the house, of course, best known for um, being incredibly talented with crafting. People who have that specific dragon mark, which is the mark of making, are particularly adept at fine work and working with pretty much any kind of construct or any kind of building implement. So when you think who built the Warforge, it was mostly House Cannith.
Right.
They could have been created by other people. No blueprint stays secret forever, but the majority of them were made by that house.
Right. How long ago was the last war? Can you remind me?
I don't remember if I gave it like an actual date. I'd probably say 5-10 years.
Right. So then, so Gimdrak was certainly a part of the creation of the Warforged.
Yeah, if you were working for like any House Cannith associated guild, then it is likely you might not have made them, but you would at least be familiar with them, just because they are, they take slightly more than what the average guild has at their disposal to create, but you would certainly be familiar with them. Maybe you repaired them during the war, or maybe you armed them.
Roger, Roger. So Gimdrak's definitely gonna mean that when they're in there, that he's definitely gonna be looking, sort of admiring the craftsmanship of the Warforged while they're. I imagine I go and try and find a table somewhere at the back of the tavern.
Yeah. What is everybody's passive perception?
Mine is 13.
Mine is 11.
Well,
Okay. So Yago would be the only person who is able to see this, as you're kind of making your way through the crush of the crowd and the many Warforged engaging in a variety of games and merriment. You can see a very familiar looking black back sitting at the bar.
Yago just proceeds to start moving towards the black back.
And I would like to imagine that Yago is so large and wide, it's hard to miss them moving anywhere.
A 6 foot, 500-pound turtle probably is hard to miss.
yeah.
I imagine just them walking by is followed by sorry. It just says Yago probably doesn't talk, but it just says he's trying to part the sea of Warforged with his giant shell.
And just out of curiosity, did we heal up at any point, or are we all still at 1 health?
You haven't taken time to have a short rest or a long
So
rest.
rest or
I'd say take the benefits of a short rest right now,
Okay.
because of the time you spent waiting for Jermaine.
So do we take a short rest then?
Yeah, so take the benefits of a short rest if you need it.
Okay.
And
For
so we're all
those of you,
starting at 1 HP.
I'd say that you probably weren't. The rest of the rest of the goons in this group are in need of some medical attention.
We've been going around the city like one toe stub away from unconsciousness.
Just looking so fucking beat, and Gimdrak hasn't said a thing. That's what he just thinks he looks. That's what he thinks you look like.
It's just the baseline.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I rolled a 9, so I heal up to 10.
Ooh, very nice.
If I'm at 1 health. So Yago's back at full health.
Alrighty. Cool.
I mean, yeah, if Yago is just making his way towards the bar, Gimjack will follow Yago's lead.
Tom, what are you up to?